Y'all know what it is. We are back in the flesh, right here with that boom bap breath fest. That's right, Black Power Media, the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Let me introduce you to your host today. We got no other than Kalonji Jama, Kamal K. Franklin, and Burn It Down Kim Brown.
Remix in the building. What up?
Blaka.
Man,
Che.
to be back.
Good morning.
Welcome to Africa.
Let's
All
get
right,
it.
let's unmute. Kamal ain't been around for a while. Let's unmute his microphone.
My bad. I was talking a mile a minute too. I was all happy to be back. I was saying welcome back to me and nice to see everybody. I was chatting it all. I had a good conversation with myself. My bad.
Hey, that's why I was on mute.
Yep. Maybe I'm going to leave again for another month. You know, maybe another month and a half this time. Another month and a half.
It's so good to see y'all's beautiful, shining, smiling faces joining us this morning. Kalonji, good day.
What up? Black August Resistance. What the deal is?
Keep it moving, keep it coming strong. Kamal K. Franklin, where in the hell have you been? Everybody thought you quit.
I've been, well, you know, the contract wasn't good. So I had to hold out for more negotiations. I still didn't get what I wanted. But, you know, it was like, fuck it, I'll come back.
Fuck it.
I was like, all right. I ain't doing nothing else at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Welcome back.
I was in Vermont,
Oh,
the second whitest state in the nation. I think only Maine is whiter. For 3 different conferences, took the baby. They got all the clean lake. White folks are very progressive when they by themselves. They do all nice things to each other. It was the best.
Yes.
It was like that Eddie Murphy thing. This might be a little bit too much for the younger folks. With the Eddie Murphy, he put himself all white face. Then he started traveling around New York City, and he didn't have to pay for the bus ride. He would go in the store and give them shit for free. He went to the bank, and it was like, you know, blank application. He's like, no, yeah, just take the money and shit like that. That's how Vermont was.
Was that the treatment you received? Could they not read you as black? Is that the treatment you got in Vermont?
My wife just laughed in the background. She's like, there's a guffaw. She's like, we all got nice treatment because there's only like 5 of you. Then that's different. And the highest population of black folks in Vermont are adoptees.
Adopted.
Yeah, that's the highest population. Folks that other white folks adopted. Black folks, white folks adopted.
I'm sure it's a lovely experience for them there in Vermont. I'm sure they're having quite a nice time being the lone blacks in Vermont.
Yes. Look at me. I have my Negro with me today, folks.
Brought him around.
Yes.
And a good thing that I'll show about Vermont is it was a place where in the 60s and at the end, I'd say, of the 60s, the revolution failed. The white folks wanted to live out the revolution dream in practice. And so they went to, a lot of folks, they scattered around the country, but Vermont became a mainstay for folks to go. And they bought their farms. They started intentional communities, some communes. The communes never worked, but the intentional communities and the rest of it, you know, so everybody who wanted to build a new society, the folks who just wanted to drop out and smoke weed and other things like that. So it's an interesting mix of people.
And then they enacted their sundown codes and black codes, you know, because, you know, white people.
Well, that's how Bernie got elected, because the place went a little progressive, you know, so that fake socialism where you couldn't do it anyplace else, but that kind of that almost socialism, or democratic socialism can get play in a place like Vermont where it can't get in other places. Although their governor is a Republican, so it shows the weirdness of.
What was they up there celebrating Black August? It's like Black who?
It was White August, and, you know, White September, White January.
They was trying to catch Kamal jaywalking, and Kamal was going to be Black August up there in Vermont by himself.
Exactly. You got to go out there when it's snowing. You know what I'm saying? They might not notice you in Mount Pelier.
35.
Like
we were near Mount Pelier. It's 35 degrees below zero. Well, and again, I won't shut up about Vermont apparently. And so a lot of folks who were, let's say, on the run, that some folks, you know, went through Vermont. So in a place where the whites settled and other folks did, like, you know, a lot of woods covering, nobody looks for you there. A lot of folks went. Of course, that's why eventually looked there too, of course. But you know, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Shout out to the other New England that folks in New England don't really fuck with, but it's definitely a good place to escape to if you got friends with weed farms and shit like that. You know what I mean? You good. It works out. Anyway, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Ear Doctor looking pretty spiffy out there in the sky.
You know, I'm feeling good. Had a good weekend, balanced weekend. I had a friend make a transition Sunday, but at the same time, I went and DJ'd my homeboy's mom 65th birthday party, and it was beautiful. I played "I Always Love My Mama," and all 5 of the kids just circled around and danced around the mom. It was beautiful.
Oh,
yeah, it was a good weekend. What about you? I know, right? And I was like, I miss my mama. But it was beautiful. Yeah.
No doubt.
Anyway, that's what it is. I'll let y'all get to it, and I'll be back and catch you on the break. Peace.
Peace, Ear Doctor. Peace, y'all.
What did you guys do with your lovely vacation time? We had 2 weeks off. Anybody do anything special and good?
And I didn't even know we was off. That's how hard I've been working. You said 2 weeks vacation. I'm like, shit, we had a vacation. I definitely miss popping on Remix. You know what I mean? Just been mad busy, working on projects after projects and trying to keep my hair a little bit darker before I go all the way gray in the day, but it's good times. It's good times to be here on the planet.
No doubt. 2 weeks has been a nice respite, I guess, to sleep in. Because I'm usually pretty up pretty early, doing remix stuff or whatever, or at least attempting to get ready for the remix. So I enjoyed the 2 weeks break. I think I needed that.
I think the thing for me, I counted yesterday. I did 19 interviews over the course of the last couple weeks dealing with Black August. So I'm kind of like, I feel like I've been here because I'm at the same scene. But at the same time, it's just like, it feels good to not be on that side of the mic right now. You know what I'm saying? Because after a while, it's like, where am I again? Did I just say such and such? You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for that. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters out there that's putting in work. It's a whole lot of folks out there who are making efforts right now. And sometimes we don't always recognize a lot of folks in the neighborhoods and the communities and whatnot. So, definitely shout out to the worker bees out there. Yes. So feels good. You guys fasting?
Feels all right.
Huh?
Feels all right to be back. Yeah.
You said it feels all right?
Yeah. I'm not logged in properly, so I can't even see all the remixers in the chat and all that kind of stuff.
Man.
Let's check in with the chat. Good morning, chat.
Yes, what's up, remixers? You on the building?
Shirley missed you, Kamal. Shirley specifically missed you.
Really? Yes. That's the only one? Only Shirley?
Only Shirley. Actually, it was only Shirley.
I appreciate you, Shirley.
Well, you should appreciate Shirley, because Shirley, she'll be on your side one day, and the next day she'll be like, look, I disagree with it. But you agree.
I got my own opinions. I don't got to agree with y'all all the time. And Shirley, right?
Know. But Shirley loves dragging Kamal specifically. She loves to drag Kamal. Shout out to Erica Brown. Good morning, sis Brown, sis Erica. Yes. We appreciate you as always. Brokish in the building.
The whisperer. I call it a whisperer.
No doubt. My man Balagoon in the building.
Hi. Hey, what's up, brother Balagoon?
Eric Berkeley. Excuse me, Eric Berkeley. Okay, peace, man.
Everybody making your way back in. Good.
Yes, we didn't leave, y'all, and I see we off to a little bit of a slow start this morning, but we gonna creep it up on in there in terms of people checking in. But we back, y'all. Y'all had 2 weeks off. Now y'all get to come back in the chat and drag us.
Exactly.
Y'all had 2 weeks off from dragging us, and now it's time for y'all to get back to work, chat.
You get back your favorite activity. That's right.
Yeah. And they be acting like they don't miss it.
The host.
Yeah. Nah, so that's it's good to see everybody back. I think we're gonna hit 300 this morning. That's my belief system. You know what I mean? We're about at a buck right now, but we're gonna hit 300.
Nike book thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's get there.
Make it do what it do. Anyway, I mean, what have you guys been up to, man? Besides your vacation to Vermont and Kim's vacation to the dispensary. What have you guys been doing?
I picked picked up another hosting gig, so I'm hosting Status Quo News on Wednesdays.
Okay.
So
that growing.
Where's that on? What's that on? I mean, is that on YouTube channel?
It's on YouTube. It is on YouTube.
It's called
Status Quo. COUP.
Okay.
Status Coop.
You got a co-host? You co-hosted with somebody?
So it's Jordan Cheriton's channel, Radical White Man. And so I'm just picking up hosting his 5 o'clock show one day a week on Wednesdays.
Oh, look at you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
burning up all the places.
She's going to be the breakout media personality. I do know this. So you just better like make sure you remember people like me. You know what I'm saying?
Kamal, people been telling me that.
Breakout skills. We all know you do.
I thank you. I appreciate that, Kamal. But the problem is I don't know my place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is a problem. Yeah.
In the social hierarchy, I don't know my place. And if you don't know your place, they will displace you. So I mean,
you're gonna fly up there and then you're gonna say something to somebody, and then the shit gonna fall back down. You'll be back with us. But I see some. I see bang. You know what I'm saying?
That's a guarantee, but just be clear, you know what I'm saying? Even though this is, white man's platform, I've still been shouting out Black Power Media. Make no mistake about it.
Wait a minute, Kim. Wait a minute. You just said the white man's platform?
I did say that. Well, I mean, he is a white man. It is his platform, so it is the white man's platform. Okay. But he covers workers' rights and housing rights. I mean, he covers all the shit that we support. You know what I'm saying? All the shit that we would want radical whites to support. That is the shit that he covers in part. So, but again, Ear Doctor was like, yeah, I heard you got a new gig. I said, listen, I said, dog, we don't sell out over here no matter what. Like, we shouting out Black Power Media. We are still trying to amplify the channel and our message. And if some radical whites want to tune in, they are more than welcome to do so.
More than welcome.
Get your voice out, Kim. You know what I'm saying? It is it's always good to be able to expand. It's always good to be able to be heard, especially when you have something to say. What are you guys reading, man? I see Kamal got Lenin in the background. What the deal is with that?
Black Awakening in Capitalist America. My man Zaire, who does political education.
Shout out to Zaire.
Community movement builders. He had some. He was giving away some books. I was like, "Yo, let me get that one. Let me get that one. I don't have that copy no more. Let me get that. Let me steal those." I was originally just covering up my Nike boxes, although I have been kind of referencing both of them for various projects and stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay. I'm stuck on your boy right now. Back to him. Yeah. So I'm at a cross between him and George right now. So that's the kind of mood I'm rocking.
I feel like it's the time to reread some books and stuff like that. I feel like all these books have been out and it's like 20, 25 years, and you'd be like, now what's in that book again? I remember.
You have to. Really good. You have to. But I'm also suggest this right here from one of our own. Surviving the Urban Apocalypse by our brother Balagoon. When you're talking about survival and preparedness, this is a book that everyone should have in their library as well, especially when we talk about urban disasters, because folks are always talking about what's going on in, run to the woods and to the wilderness and all that type of stuff. And of course, places like New Orleans prove that that's not advantageous, so definitely get your read on. We are compiling a new book list now. Yes.
Where can we get Brother Balagoon's book?
You can go to I believe Amazon, or Balagoon's in the chat right now, so you can place where the best place it is to pick it up. Balagoon has about 40 books right now. You know what I'm saying, if not more. But this book right here, I love it because it's a Bible of sort when it comes to survival preparedness. I think that we often talk about it and we look to other people who don't have our interests at heart to help us with our survival, which of course we know that that's not always going to work in our to our advantage. So definitely check those books out and any other thing that's going on. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm watching this is Netflix show called Alone. I guess it's like a History Channel show, but it's showing on Netflix. And basically the contest is, they don't always just dump white people, but it's the survival folks, and then mostly they gather the white folks and they put them in these remote areas of around the world with like only like 10 items, and they got to figure out how to. Whoever survives the longest gets like $500,000 or some shit like that. So it's crazy because this is like the things like I just know like in the urban and or rural apocalypse, I'm just not going to do well. So I'm just saying that now. So I'm hitching my wagon to somebody because I'm not building no fishing nets out of nothing. I'm not creating no pole, no spear out of pole.
Come on, Kamal, then you will starve. Come on now.
I know. I'm going to go the gun route. The gun route. That's what I'm gonna get. Yeah, I'm just give me some more guns. And if somebody walking down the street and they got a deer on their back, I'm just gonna hold them up. I'm gonna turn into an old man stick-up kid. That's all. That's the only way I'm gonna survive.
Anyway, speaking of old man stick-up kids, my man Ear Doctor's in the building. Stick-up kids is about the tax. What up, Ear Doctor?
Everything's good, man. Get my Black August on too. I picked up a book called Joker to a King. It's pretty much talking about how to elevate yourself and how to discipline yourself. A lot of the stuff, things we're talking about in Black August. Also, I stopped eating fish for this month. I might stop altogether. Kim, how's that red meat going?
It's going all right. I'm not going to claim that I have been, 100% on the path, but I have certainly decreased significantly my red meat intake. I think I've only had it twice this month. So I'm trying. I'm at least conscious of it.
I'm giving up New York water to avoid polio. So
New York water, to avoid
New York water for no polio. No polio.
So what is happening?
All right, well, yo, let's get to our first break right here on the Remix Morning Show, y'all. Let's get it.
Let's go. Let's go.
That's right. Like and share. Make sure y'all like and share right here. This is the Remix Morning Show. Tell a friend to tell a friend on again every Tuesday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Go to patreon.com and drop some change in the bucket because we love it. All right, so what we do at this time on our Tuesdays is we give y'all the weather report. It's been a beautiful time out, so let's look at ATL. Let's take you to Georgia. That's right. They got a high today of 85 degrees. Next, let's take it to DC. They got a high today of 80 degrees. And then after that, we are going to take it to the Midwest, which is Chi. That's right, Chicago. They got a high of only 75 degrees today. Now let's take it down to over where my homegirl Erica Brown is, to Houston, Texas. I think she's in Houston. Might be, might not be. Let us know, Erica, in the chat. They got a high. It's pretty hot over there. It's a high of 96 degrees. And next, let's take it to the west side. West side, we got Compton. Compton, they have a high today of 87 degrees. And next, let's take it to the islands where my sister's family is from. Bermuda. That's right. They got a high today of 87 degrees. And last but not least, let's take it to South Africa. We going to Prince Edward Islands, where they have a high today of 36 degrees. Now that's cold. That's about colder than the white man. But let me tell you what else is cold. Joe Biden's brain. I must say Joe Biden has brain freeze. With this clip right here, you can see what I'm talking about.
Now our great speaker, our partner, who all of these bills we've
My bad, Mike was muted. But I'm saying, yo, this dude right here is ridiculous, man. This dude needs to be on freeze. His brain was on freeze. He came back around, shook his hand first, went back around and forgot that he shook his hand. I'm talking about brain freeze. It's colder than the motherfucker up in that brain. But that's what it is. Let's go ahead and get back to the Remix Morning Show. You know how we do. Yo. Yeah.
What's wrong with your mans? What's up with Robinette, Joey B?
Yo, he just old. I mean,
nah. I know lots of old people that is sharp as tacks.
That's true. That's true.
No
But
doubt.
that dude he lost it, man. That's why.
I mean, I don't even want to say what I want to say because it's a I don't want to be
right.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get those words out right as to how I feel about what should be done with old horses. But anyway,
I've been rooting for the stairs to take out Joe Biden for at least the past year. The time that he tripped up the stairs going up Air Force One, I said, why won't the stairs activate themselves every time he is walking up or down the stairs? Come on stairs, just get him out of here.
Oh man,
I mean, I think he's the great distraction right now, man. It's
all of them. Him,
Joe
Trump,
Biden,
name him.
Yeah, but I think he's a great example of how they could put a donut in office, and all they have to do is just have a voice behind it, and and it works well. You know what I'm saying? So another puppet.
Yeah. Well, that was your weather report for today. I'm gonna get out of here and bring Kamal back in. All right.
Okay. Welcome back, Kamal.
Well, I was trying to sign in, but then y'all changed the password to the BPM email, so I can't even get in. So I thought I was going to do it fast.
We changed the password. Who changed the password?
Yeah, you changed it. You got the smirk on. You changed the password.
I didn't change anything.
Somebody changed the password.
That's how you know you got fired, when they start changing passwords on you. No one told Kamal that he was finished here. No one let him know.
Kamal was going on a Zoom link. But anyway, I don't even know what you're talking about. Anyway, you check it out, the Remix Morning Show, and right about now it's time to slap the map. Man, a lot going on. Shout out to all the remixers out there. Shout out to all the folks. If it's your first time tuning in, make sure you like and subscribe. This is Black Power Media, your station for revolutionary information and for clarity. This is where you go when you want that boom bap breakfast, the Remix Morning Show. And it's about that time. So we got a little bit of news for you. We talked about a couple things already. We talked about books. We talked about presidents. So we know that there's a couple things in the news today. One would be your man Rushdie getting rushed on stage and getting shanked up. Then you had you got Trump with his whole situation right now where he may be facing some espionage charges. You know what I mean? So where do we want to go first? We dealing with Trump or Rushdie?
Well, let's talk about Trump really quick, because I don't think Trump is going down for anything. I think Trump is going to be afforded all of the same courtesy and privileges and due deference due to a white man befitting of his position. And I think it's cute that the Department of Justice and Merrick Garland and all them, again, they're just mentioning, the analysts are, what potential charges he could be facing, but he's not charged with anything. And it's really interesting to see the conservative whites collectively freak out, talking about this is the Gestapo and our rights are being violated. But I'm telling you, every non-white person who has ever had a search warrant executed against their house and did not leave out of their house in handcuffs, the police did not also leave out with them, are looking at the situation like, huh? Like, this nigga was at his mansion golfing and y'all talk about his rights were violated? Get the fuck out of here, man. So I don't really see much coming out of this. I don't think the Democrats are willing to take on that political fight, because they know that if they charge Trump criminally, his supporters are going to be ready to kick off that next civil war. Like, they are itching for it. They're just just anticipating it. And I love this for the FBI. The fact that the FBI is receiving all kinds of threats, the threat level for the FBI has been escalated. I'm like, I love this for them. Good for them, because this is the kind of reciprocity and karma that an agency like the FBI absolutely deserves, to be targeted and be threatened by white folks, armed white folks. I love this. I love every second of this. I hate to say it, but it's true.
I agree. We don't, I mean, Trump's not going anywhere. I think, again, it's another distraction. I think it's a way to throw certain words around, like espionage. I think folks talk about him being a politician, being charged with espionage. I think the last person wasn't necessarily a president. He was a socialist candidate, Eugene Debs. He was sentenced to 10 years back in 1918 for a speech he made criticizing, World War I. And of course, folks that have followed this case, which really isn't a case. I mean, it's like you said, it's just some empty rhetoric. They're talking about, okay, his home was raided, of course, and he wasn't there and all that type
One of
shit.
his homes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at that. What's wild is I look at how recently, what's the cat's name? O'Malley, his crew. Movement. Yes. Yeah. They were hit in all their different locations at the same time. When have you ever heard any case where they only raid one of your properties?
Come on.
That doesn't even sound right. You know what I'm saying? In all cases that I ever heard of, they would hit the entire gamut. They'll hit where you are in New York, DC, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But they just happen to say, we're going to go to his nice vacation spot. And what's that, Mar-a-Lago?
And they knew he wasn't there. They knew he wasn't home.
Of course not. Of course not. They wouldn't embarrass him like that. But for folks who don't know what the Espionage Act is, Congress first passed it back in 1917. And it was something that Woodrow Wilson, threw in the pot. And mainly it's about, folks obtaining or distributing certain types of classified information or whatever that could be deemed a threat to either the government or aiding a foreign government. So there's been a number of different people that have been charged throughout the years.
Didn't they execute the Rosenbergs? Isn't that why the Rosenbergs were executed for violating?
Executed of supposedly giving Russian secrets over to the Russians or something, the Soviet Union at the time.
Right.
I was going to add too, you brought up Eugene Debs. I think that's the perfect example. Here you have the Republicans, like you said, are a place of power, right? They have money, they have resources. They have, they have people, they have masses of people that support them. So they will be able to defend themselves. And like you said, Kim, this is political theater. Unlike a Eugene Debs or unlike today with Yeshiteli, it's like those folks are easier targets because then the whole system will gather around both the right and the moderates, right? The Democrats and the Republicans will gather around and point and say, yes, go after that person because that's an approved target. So Eugene Debs is an approved target because he's ultra left. Yeshiteli is an approved target, and other Black radicals and nationalists are because they are outside the mainstream. So the Republicans are it's definitely political theater, but the Republicans defend themselves. Similar to Watergate, when the break-ins and all that happened, the Democrats could defend themselves. And so they were not going to let it stand that something like this was going to happen. And it was their way of warding off and exposing Republicans and Nixon, of course, only for the purposes of protecting their own. Because at the same time, Watergate was happening, COINTELPRO was still happening. And those same Democrats did not step up and support and do anything really. The church hearings, despite those hearings on the FBI activities, really didn't amount to much in terms of changing the whole operating procedure of the FBI. So what we have here is a party that still has power, they have sway, they have an audience. Like they're going to shut this down. It's only going to go so far. For the Democrats, it's political theater to try to damage the Republicans. But there's not going to be any really convictions. And then in Georgia, they're trying to charge, they're trying to bring, at least again, publicly investigations on Giuliani and I believe Trump, which again is political theater. Right? There's so many things in Georgia that a prosecutor could be doing if they were serious about weeding out some kind of political organized crime, particularly on the last elections we had here, right? Whether you're a fan of Stacey Abrams or not, but it was obvious that there was a lot of things going on that could be investigated, and within her purview, or within the purview of the prosecutor to really do something about it. Here, they're going to go after federal officials that they're never going to really do anything with anyway, just because it's good media hype. So,
let me ask you guys a question. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kalonji.
No. I mean, I was just going to say, like you said, is game, it's political theater, and I think that what we have to do right now, as quote unquote citizens of this raggedy ass nation, is you have to watch for the hook. We have to see what's really going on at this particular point, because you can best believe that this is one of the ultimate distractions. We talked about Eugene Debs. One thing about Debs that I found that was hilarious was that even with him being sentenced to 10 years, 3 years in, he ran for president from prison. You know what I'm saying? So that's a interesting thing. So I can imagine Trump, if that ever came to pass, which we know damn well, I mean, he won't even, if he makes it to court, it'd be a surprise.
Let me ask you guys a question. Your thoughts about the rhetoric coming from the right, defund the FBI. I said, oh, you niggas are funny. Like, y'all niggas is funny. Defund the FBI, specifically, not defund the police, not defund law enforcement, defund the FBI. And they're talking big time crazy. The FBI needs to be destroyed. And I'm like, yes, okay. But I mean, I know it's phony. You know what I mean? I know this is only reactionary based off what was allegedly done to Trump, which again, Trump was golfing the day that they ran up in this house. So I'm like, Trump seems to be chilling.
And he probably already knew that they was running up in there.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And like you said, he was golfing as a sign to his followers, like, look, we good, don't trip. But then some of his zealots, they start bugging out, like, I'm going to go shoot up the FBI, and I'm going to go, you know what I'm saying?
They did. Like, I mean, again, I'm not a lover of violence, but when it's white on white violence, it's my favorite genre of violence. Like, I love it so much. And when the white man ran up in the FBI building and then shot at the Bamas, and then they negotiated with this nigga before shooting him. I mean, it's just, I'm like, this is the sort of, cannibalistic shit that white supremacy and racism will inevitably do. Like, they think that they just sick it on us exclusively. No, it is carnivorous. It will come back to eat your ass at some point. And I think in part, we're starting to see a little bit of that come to fruition. But for the people who are on the left that are like, oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and they're all like, defund the FBI. This is a perfect moment to seize upon this and try to build with the right and pursue this defund the FBI. What do you guys think about that?
Again, it's political theater, because as soon as the Republicans get back in power, the FBI is a tool of power. So as soon as they get back in power, they're going to appoint their own attorney general, their own head of the FBI. So it's all of that rhetoric is just about feeding the red meat to their audience, because as soon as they're back in power, they're going to use the FBI as a tool for what they want it to be used for. So these are just fights over who gets to control these tools of power. Again, while people are suffering, the homeless population is going up. There's no COVID policy. We're suffering from inflation. Corporate profits are at their all-time high. All of that's going on, but what they're focused on is who's going to have the levers of power to kick more money upstairs to the rich folks.
Right. I mean, pure economic violence across the board. When I think about the FBI, the fact that someone like Marjorie Greene Taylor, whatever the hell her name is, would even utter something about the FBI, knowing the history of the FBI against Black folks in particular. You talk about J. Edgar Hoover. I mean, he single-handedly during the 20th century, totally decimated the Black community, particularly Black leadership, going back to Garvey, Paul Robeson, King, Malcolm, Elijah Muhammad, Ram, the Black Panther Party. I mean, he lived his life. He had a hard-on for destroying Black leadership. So if we weren't yelling defund the FBI, it's an absolute joke for folks to even think that, you should be insulted that, to me, when I hear that, it's like seeing Elizabeth Warren and the crew walking around with kente cloth on. You know what I'm saying? Kneeling. Mm-hmm. That's what that reminds me of.
Yeah.
I think it's a total disregard to any type of movement.
And like y'all said, it's just a public, and it's red meat for their base. Their base right now, who they can actually activate, or they can do these subtle things to activate them to do some of the things that they've already done, and the potential to do more, which is a way to tell the Democrats, y'all better cool out, right? So this could go so far, but only so far, because there's going to be a real vibe for power. But unlike you, they got militias, right? I mean, just think about it. Basically, there's right wingers who have militias outside of the official paramilitary structure of any government or police force, but they literally have militias that they can send dog whistles to, who will then attack. And so when folks talk about sort of where we're at, when we talk about so-called American democracy, what you're talking about is that there's extrajudicial military units now who are willing to attack government apparatus based on the dog whistles they are sent by right-wing forces. That's the state of so-called democracy in America. And that's all they're doing. They'll send these whistles, and when they need to cool them out or chill them off or tell them to chill or back off, they'll do that also to get them to back. Doesn't mean they always control them, because a lot of times they're trying to jump in front of these folks and say that they are like their leaders, or they want they want to sort of put them under control. But there definitely is armed groups who are responsive to this right-wing rhetoric and who will attack. And so that's been something that's been here for a while, but the level of the apparatus, the level of support that they have, the level of weaponry now training that they have is reaching an all-time high. And again, it just, we've talked about it many times. It's a slow sort of breaking up of the empire, not only around the world, but from within.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that for the empire. I love that their own are going to be the ones to take them down. I love that. And I don't know what that means for us specifically, because it's similar to January 6th, whatever is happening with Trump and the FBI and his followers. I definitely looked at that as white people's problems. Like, that's white people's problems. Like, we're kind of not in that specifically, but obviously the ways in which the white violence can easily and always be turned upon us remains a omnipresent threat. But, I just love to see this. I love the white on white violence. Like, give me more.
To answer your question, you said you don't know what it means for us. Well, let's look at it this way. For the unprepared and the unorganized, that means that we'll be enslaved by new captors. It means that we'll have a new improved version of white supremacy with a different name that comes along if we're not prepared and if we're not organized. Because, as Kamal mentioned, the lack of any type of military force, that's the key. When you talk about the FBI, when you talk about the police, you're talking about armed agents of the state on the local level. When you talk about the military on the international level, so the thing is, if we just sit back and say, okay, boom, we're rooting for it. To me, in my mind, and I could be wrong, to me, it's like it's like going back to just vote. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you on what you're saying, Kim, in regards to white on white crime, yippee. But at the same time, we have to use their infighting. While they're doing that, we can't be distracted and watching their fight. We have to begin to prepare ourselves and organize like never before.
Totally agree. Perfect time. This actually is like perfect timing. It's almost serendipitous. Like, our enemies are distracted with each other. So let's do what we need to do.
Without a doubt. Anyway, moving right along. Who wants to cover y'all homie Salman Rushdie? Satanic Versus Man. Anybody want to talk about that? I heard he got shanked up in New York the other day on stage. I think he might lose an eye and
damn.
He got lit up. I heard his ex-wife is sad. Shout out to Pat Malashmi for folks who watch Top Chef. You know what I'm saying? She's the host over Top Chef. You know what I mean? I don't know how she got with that clown, but anyway, any thoughts on Salman Rushdie?
I don't have a lot of details. I do know, he was speaking at an event and he was attacked on stage. I think stabbed approximately 17 times. Was on a ventilator. Was close to dying, and I think he is pulling through. I think he's off the ventilator. He's actually speaking now. I think his publicist and or agent has made some statements. And so, and obviously, for those who know, Salman Rushdie sort of wrote the book Satanic Verses. A fatwa of sorts was put out against him, particularly through Iran, because they felt it was derogatory towards Islamic practices. He's been attacked before. He's lived a sort of secret life to avoid being attacked and being killed because of that book and/or his statements. So I, by no means do I take any joy in this happening to him. I think there are issues around, again, what I consider to be freedom of speech and people making, publishing things. And I don't think the retort necessarily in civil society is to go out and stab somebody up or kill them or whatever like that. So yeah, I think it's again just the violence of America. Just because people can, they will. And this is a violence that's spilling over all around. So yeah.
How long ago was the Satanic Verses written? This had to have been 30 years ago, right?
Yeah, about 1989, I believe.
Yeah.
Somewhere around either 88 or 89.
Yeah. But they, like Iran, I should just jump in. Iran has made a statement that has said that they have nothing to do whatsoever with the attempted killing, or so they don't want anybody putting that bag on them. Although I think they also was like, they're not shedding no tears either.
Oh, yeah. They're definitely not shedding tears.
They're like, they said that this person should not have written what they consider to be a very insulting book about Islam and derogatory and the rest of it. But they've already publicly made sure that nobody tries to use this as a way to come after Iran, suggesting that somehow it has assassins based in America to snuff them out.
Well, the timing is interesting because, allegedly, John Bolton was targeted for an assassination plot. Him, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, all allegedly by Iran. I think this guy was an Iranian national, and I can't remember if he was actually part of the Revolutionary Guard, the person that they have arrested and charged with attempting to assassinate John Bolton. It was just interesting to me that this attack on Salman Rushdie came within the same week roundabouts that the news about the assassination attempt on John Bolton came out by allegedly an Iranian. So yeah, I think they're trying to make Iran look bad in the news this week.
I can't say all I want to say on a platform like this, but I'm not. Yeah, one, I don't buy it, but two, I ain't shed no tears either around.
Hell no! I said it on my show. I said the Iranian National Guard need to tighten up their shit. Y'all need to get y'all plans a little better executed. Come on now, because I said I see the vision. I see the vision, Iran. I see what you did there. But
this is coming a few weeks after Bolton, who goes on national TV and talks about the fact that he is a coup plotter, that it takes intelligence and expertise to do so, which also means that he's taking overt responsibility for literally dozens and or hundreds of people and or thousands sometimes who die in the wake of these coup plots that he helps foment and lead because he's so genius and brilliant. So. Right. And again, the reporter from CNN, I think it was
Tapper.
Yeah, said nothing, no follow-up, it's just like, of course the U.S. officials will plot coups and we shouldn't think anything about it. But we're going to make up stories about Russia and Iran and China invading our democracy or overthrowing our democracy and all that kind of stuff. But it's quite natural, of course, that the United States has a given right, a supremacist right, to go into other countries and overthrow their governments when they don't like it, and we should just what is there to comment on? It's the natural order of things.
But it's wild because they do it with such arrogance. You know what I'm saying? Even with Rushdie, you would think that this dude Khomeini put a $3 million bounty on his head. You know what I'm saying? To take his life, and you're still walking around. You're on stage with no security. What's up with that? I mean, you got real comfortable in your capitalism. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, I don't know about you, but if a mother put $3 million on my head, I ain't gonna just be rolling around willy-nilly unless I got a tank or something with me. You know what I'm saying?
You're not gonna send out the Eventbrite to your speaking engagement.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, $3 million on you.
I mean, that's not so bright. But I think the thing is, with him and these other characters that you all spoke of, it's an example of, like you said, if you can get up there and say that, I'm a coup master, this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we take over, we murder, we topple regimes. You know what I'm saying? We're here to enslave, mass murder, and the propaganda machines like, yep, now back to you, Chuck. And it's all good. You know what I'm saying? But imagine if we got up here on Black Power Media and said the same damn thing. Imagine if we said we wanted to say up on here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because best believe I got some folks that have come up to me like, man, y'all don't talk about such. Y'all need to say, look, motherfucker, I ain't nobody trying to get down with the indicted hotline because your black ass want to hear us go off.
Not the get indicted hotline.
Yeah, you can't read between the lines, motherfucker. Get riff reading is fundamental. You know what I'm saying? What we look like.
But can we shout out Iraq and Iran? Can we shout out Iran? Like, is that too controversial? Can we actually shout out Iran? Like, because I appreciate the carrying of beef. Like, don't let that shit go. Don't let that shit go. Iraq, I see what you did there. Iran, I see what you did there. Like, I do respect
it. The shout out for me is the fact that they oppose Western imperialism in their country. And that's the whole basis of their revolutionary overthrow of the Shah. Was the Shah was a tool of the West. It wasn't allowing whatever they felt around establishing an Islamic society, but having control of their resources, making sure the society was built around what the majority of them have wanted to build it around. And look at them, they actually have a functioning democracy. The West puts it down, but they actually do vote. They actually have parties, and they have mixed that in with the sort of religious and cultural way of life that they want to. And the vast majority of Iranians, even if they have complaints, they want some things to change, they want some openings, they support the Iranian Revolution, which is something you will never get from reading Western media or Western press. So it's not like there's been, again, there's rifts in other places also, but it's not like you don't have a large majority base of support for their system, because there's never been any mass rebellions to overthrow their system. There's a level of support, and only thing they've said is the West, stay out of our business, stay out of the Middle East. Can you get your bases from surrounding us? Can you stop overthrowing other countries? So shout out, because they've been a part of what we would call the resistance. Even if the ideology isn't the same ideology that I practice, I've got to respect the fact that you have countries out there. You have Cuba, you have Iran, you have Venezuela, you have other countries that are standing up and saying that our way of life, it may not match what you want, but that's okay, right? We need to figure out our internal contradictions. That's what our role is in our country, not to have you step in and overthrow because you want to control the resources, the people, and the land and the property of what's happening in our individual nations.
I think back to that whole Iran situation back in '79. You know what I'm saying? When they had the hostage situation and the U.S. was trying to hide the Shah, and Khomeini, they had the devil ears on, the devil horns on his head and all that shit. And I just think back as to how they tried to drive this level and sense of patriotism into us. I remember I was in school, I think the 4th grade. Everywhere you went, they had yellow ribbons. They had yellow ribbons around the fucking trees. You went to school, they gave you yellow ribbons, so on and so forth. I remember taking my black ass home, and I had a yellow ribbon that I forgot they gave me. Almost got executed, and all types of shit. What's this right here? Oh, they gave us that in school. Let me just say, for years on end, I didn't like yellow or ribbons. But anyway, but they tried to drop. And then it was the same thing with 9/11. And it's like we kind of forget about these incidents that take place damn near every decade, like once every 10 years or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was a serious time, and that's when they had this whole propaganda around the Green Berets. They talked about how the Green Berets stormed the embassy and they got the hostages back and all this other bullshit. But
they never got the hostages back. Carter's plan failed miserably,
without a doubt.
But
it failed so bad he tried to get on the right side of history after that.
Yeah, too late.
Sorry, Jimmy.
But that's the thing. Like, and so American history, you don't get to learn how the Shah was installed by the U.S. government because they overthrew the Iranians actually, put in, I think, I'm not going to be able to say the name properly, but in either 54 or 56, there was a sort of a democratic administration that replaced the father, the Shah, and the U.S. overthrew that, right? They overthrew them and installed the Shah. And for the next 26, 27 years, the Shah ruled with an iron fist. And that built up the idea of folks were not going to suffer peacefully. And so that's the reason the United States hates Iran, because it overthrew their puppet. It's the same reason why the United States hates Cuba, right? Because Batista was overthrown and Fidel Castro came into power and their puppet was overthrown. The United States hates to have their puppets overthrown. That's that's what we should learn about history. It's not even about necessarily completely about the ideological stance of the revolutionary force or the force that takes over. It's really about the fact that they're not playing ball, because you can call yourself whatever. If you play ball with the United States, they don't care what kind of government you have. They dealt with China. They're now their new enemy, right? So there was the period of communism where China was isolated, where Taiwan was, which is basically an island province of China, right? Where the nationalists who got beat down, Chiang Kai-shek, they went to establish a base, and they were left alone by mainland China. But the United States recognized them as the official China over a billion people, right? A few million, they said, was China, while there's like a billion people right there on the mainland. And when Nixon had meetings with China and so forth, then China became a United States friend, even though it was communist. When China opened up its economy to be the place where low-wage labor and toys and everything else could get built around the world, the United States was cool with that. China was their friend. The moment China said, we want an industrial policy that deals with high-tech industry, that's when the United States decided, whoa, now you're stepping out of your place. It's okay for us to have all our corporations and the Western corporations come to China and establish these low-wage worker centers and to make toys and everything else in the world where they get paid nothing and then people can buy them cheap. That fits into your role as to being subservient in the Western economy. But the moment you step out of that role, now you're an enemy, because now you're challenging our supremacy.
And I want to point out too that it was only, let's not forget that it was only 9 years ago that the CIA publicly admitted that that they were behind that 1953 coup that overthrew Mohammad Mossadegh in Iran. So I mean, when you talk about their arrogance and not giving a fuck, it's like, yeah, we did it, and what? You know what I'm saying? So why should countries like Iran bow down to a larger criminal enterprise? You know what I'm saying? Like most of these other cats are. But anyway, moving right along, we got the ear to the DR.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, welcome back, everybody. Glad to see everybody back here on the Remix Morning Show. I'm gonna go ahead and do a artist spotlight. So let's get to it. Get the quick break in right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yeah. All right, so big up to everybody that tuned in this Sunday, came out and checked out Sundays. This Sunday, it was hip hop's birthday. That's right. Well, we celebrated on Sunday, even though it was August the 11th, 1973. Had to do it up. Played a bunch of old school hip hop from the 80s to the 90s, and we stopped there. We're gonna give y'all some more. We're just gonna celebrate that, and big up to everybody that tuned in for the Black August mix and all that. So with that said, I wanted to put a spotlight on a certain artist. He goes by the name of Thunder. I actually been known this brother for a while. He said, I got some new music, so I want you to check it out. So I want y'all to check it out. This right here is called World War III by my man Thunder. Let's get it.
My son that pissed him off that he was going to deal with, and it went from a nice conversation and it ain't no place to hide. Trapped behind enemy lines, forced to ride. It's either that or I die. Live and die in the wild, right inside the rotten apple. Locked inside of Gotham's castle, back racing in this fiasco. The little rascals, they got shit locked like Castro. From you to get a new castle, the niggas will blow your back, bro. Happy I saw 24, cause niggas gone in the war, lost in the storm. And yo, it's easy to die, and only the strong will survive. Now that's wrong, cause I got fam that was strong and they still die. And I'm a man where this bomb, but I still cry. It feel like my world crushing in. Hard times of suffering, up against the world. Can't trust money that deserves. It ain't the game, these niggas ain't shooting paint guns. Over with the pain from the beach that came from the cave, son. We used to get hanged, now these niggas bang. It ain't the game, these niggas ain't shooting paint guns.
All right, so there you go. That brother goes by the name of Thunder. You can go check that out. That is World War III. And like I tell you, if you got some new artists that want to get their video shown, send it to mediablackpower@gmail.com. And we see if it's rocking, we're gonna throw it up there. If it's not, y'all gonna let me know. So that's what it is. That is our artist spotlight for the day. Now, let's get back to the Remix Morning host right here, right now on Black Power Media, the Remix Morning Show. There it is.
Indeedy. Am I froze?
What's happening?
No, you're not froze. You
Okay,
jumped
good.
on that mic pretty hard. You're like, indeedy.
Just checking.
Shout out to Thunder, Lions Den, FTP,
Word.
Gangster.
That's
Definitely always in the building. You know what I mean? Been putting it down. Shout out to the whole Lions Den. Ekandio, Loose, you know what I'm saying? Quez, and all other good folks out there. Free my man Flames, actual Flames in the building.
Yo, come out. Did you
That's
know
black.
Luce used to be a rapper?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, he's part of the
got-
Lions Den. That's his crew.
Got some heat, man.
You
Word,
said used to
word.
be, though. Used to be.
Yeah,
Instead
you
of-
know,
instead
we
of
all
that.
used to be rappers.
No, that's true.
Oh, yes, we did.
You used to rap.
I think all three of y'all at some point, right? All three of y'all
Nah,
used to be.
not me. I don't have it. Like I do not have the actual skill to put together rhymes in my head on my own, right? I can recite other people's rhymes, but I'm not an MC, sadly.
Unlike the purists, I still consider that a skill. So if someone wrote some rhymes and you can repeat them well, I think you still would qualify as an MC. Now I know the purists out there going to jump on me, but you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like some say, it's all right as long as you can pull it off. Because, like you said, some people can write good, but they can't spit. You know what I mean? So, and that's the whole thing with music. It takes a community of people to come together. It's the beat, it's the writing, it's the delivery, all that. So
there's some great singers out there never wrote a song in their life, but you know they got the voice.
Huge facts. That's Whitney all day. You know what I mean?
Right?
And that's not a diss to Whitney. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I mean, she just was not a songwriter. That she was not singer-songwriter. But speaking of rapper writers, has anybody seen the documentary about the DOC?
Nah.
Have y'all heard of it?
I heard of it. I ain't seen it though.
I haven't either, but I was hoping somebody had. You can tell me about it.
You know what channel it's on?
Thanks for that film report, Kim.
I'm so sorry. Thank you, Kalanji. No, but I have not seen it. I do not even know what platform it's on, to be perfectly honest. But I did see, an advert for it, and supposedly one of the executive producers is Erykah Badu, and I love Badu because she keep all her baby daddies close. You know what I'm saying? She keep them close. She keep them around. So I'm interested to see it because the DOC obviously has had a very interesting career, highs and lows, but his pen is unmatched. So I would like to see that.
Don't even try to step to Erykah Badu if you ain't got no bars, because I mean she's Common, Andre 3000, Day Electronica. Listen, you gotta have bars straight up.
I ain't mad. I mean, I respect it. I see the vision. Badu. I respect it.
I catch y'all next break. Peace.
See ya.
Yes, sure. Whew. Anyway.
Yo, to be the best, y'all. Yes, y'all. Sorry.
MC Kim.
I heard that.
He was like one of those dudes that was on the verge of like the breakout career.
Oh,
he's talking about
then he had the car accident, right? Was it the car accident?
Yeah,
but he wrote a lot of NWA stuff, especially for like Dre and a lot of other folks. He was definitely the ultimate ghostwriter at that time, and I think he's still doing a lot of writing and whatnot. But definitely shout out to him, man. Hated to see his career get sidetracked like that. The formula was definitely on fire during that time period. What was that, like 89 as well, somewhere around there?
89, dog. That, I mean, just a vicious album. Just classic West Coast. I mean, that was
definitely shout out to the West Coast, man. They did a lot for the advancement of hip hop, especially in the different regions and pockets, LA, Oakland, etc.
Man, can I tell y'all how irritated I have been lately to see hip hop and rap transposed when talking about one another? For example, advertisement was running last week for the Today Show. What's that white boy? Yeah, what's that white boy? The white boy who is the hot shit new rapper? I don't know, Jack Herrera, Jack
Harlow or something.
Yeah. And the Today Show was running a promo. And join us next Tuesday on the Today Show main stage as hip hop sensation Jack Harlow joins us. I'm like, what the fuck is a hip hop sensation? Is this nigga going to be breakdancing? Is he going to do graffiti art? Like, what is a hip hop sensation? And it really grinds my gears to see our culture intentionally manipulated, misrepresented, misinformed as to what it is. Hip hop and rap are not the same thing. Hip hop is the culture. Rap is the genre of fucking music. Okay, niggas are not hip hop artists. They are rap artists. Get it right.
I remember like a few months ago, somebody put up something on social media that's called that dude the Stevie Wonder of our times. Like she got baked. But I was like, yo, you can get away with that? I mean, it all goes back to the obviously even further than the Eminem thing, but the Eminem thing, when folks was like, black folks was like, Eminem is the top rapper of all time. Like, you got to people were literally putting Eminem on their number one artist list of all time. Rap like rappers or whatever, hip hop artists, they were putting him down as like number one of all time when he was hot. So it's like,
you know what I did?
Fucking mind.
A few days ago, it's funny we talking about a white rapper, because a few days ago the whole Vanilla Ice joint popped up on my YouTube joint, and I watched it because I'm like, okay, let me go back because I haven't seen this shit in 30 years or whatever the case is, and I don't know why anyone even paid attention to him. But I looked at it and I'm like, damn, this dude. I mean, this is the most popcorn. Ding, 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 ding. I mean, it was just, it was like amazing to me. I'm like, wow, this dude became a superstar. You know what I'm saying? Garbage, of course. But I'm looking and I'm like, damn, at least the Beastie Boys had skills. You know what I'm saying? When the Beastie Boys came out.
Everlast.
Yeah, Everlast, definitely.
Dump is still top 25 of all time.
I don't know about that, but it's definitely
what top 25 shit that they play at the white people bar? Like,
that
what are you
saying? That's all.
Top 25 white artists.
My House of Pain does not get played at white people's bars.
Not exclusively. I'm telling you. I'm saying that shit gets played all over. B.
Yeah, House of Pain was dope.
You know, anywhere. You get House of Pain anywhere. That song, at least.
I went to a House of Pain Cypress Hill show one time. You know what I'm saying? And that was real live and real high. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of smoke up in there. But definitely, House of Pain was dope. There was a few, white artists out there, hip hop artists that were true to it.
I know. And Beastie, I guess. But I was never a big fan of Beastie. The House of Pain joint was hot, though. I
like the Beastie Boys because they supported community efforts. You know what I'm saying? I appreciated them because they actually came out to, joints or whatever. You know what I'm saying? MCA, Ad Rock, Mike D. They were supporters of different causes. So I always rock with them. But it's been a few in between. One cat that I think. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the Beastie Boys and Vanilla Ice to me are not exactly in the same category, except for the fact that
of course not.
white rappers, because I think that, you know, Vanilla Ice, you say he was a superstar. I saw him more as a very you know, flash in the pan sort of pop sensation. Like after Ice Ice Baby, that was it. But the Beastie Boys, I mean, for his rap career, but the Beastie Boys had longevity. I mean, shit, the Beastie Boys was putting out records for 25 years.
Yeah,
I'm not a
fan of his. I'm just saying. You
know? No.
I know.
I didn't think you were.
That was one of the few times where folks jumped on for the cultural appropriation because it was so Elvis-like. It was like, yo. So everybody jumped on against this dude when after that song hit. I mean, the song was huge. He made a lot of dough off of that. But there was a backlash, rightfully so, about like, yo, who is this dude and why y'all making the king of rap kind of thing, the king of hip hop? Like, unlike Eminem, where there was mass support, like, you know, amongst the let's just say a lot of artists were like stepping out and again just talk about all the skills that this dude has or whatever like that. Which is not to say that he wasn't a real rapper or whatever, but he can't be. There's no way he's even top 5.
I mean, one big difference between Eminem and Vanilla Ice is that Eminem came out co-signed by Dr. Dre off the break. You know what I'm saying? Vanilla Ice was kind of, you know, it wasn't nobody co-signing him to my recollection. Like it was just him dancing.
Although your man hang him out the balcony, right?
Suge Knight.
Suge was trying to co-sign. You got to sign all them rights over.
Give me that publishing pimp.
I was never an Eminem fan. You know what I'm saying? I did, you know, on the low, like Lose Yourself or whatever, you know, but I was never an Eminem fan. But a white boy that I do rock with, that I think is underrated, is Macklemore. I think Macklemore has a lot of dope skills. Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, I think they got a lot of, you know, dope songs and whatnot. You know, you gotta look into them. You gotta check them out.
Check them out. I feel like there's a disagreement, Birds and Kim.
Oh, Kim don't know nothing about no hip hop.
Was it like a pop tag? What's that song they did? The tag pop?
Macklemore. I don't know.
Macklemore's dope. And shout out to Macklemore. He brought M1 out on stage with him at the Garden. You know what I'm saying? What white rapper gonna bring M1 from Dead Prez out to spit on the joint at the Garden?
Hope he paid him. He paid him.
Anyway.
No comment about Macklemore.
What else we got popping? This sounds like a
the white boy who died. Mac Miller. I'm gonna put Mac Miller up against Macklemore. I think Mac Miller had better bars than I don't give a fuck about any of these niggas. Let's just be perfectly clear.
Good. I agree with that. Let's start with that.
Yeah, let's end it there. Let's just move this thing along.
Anyway,
appreciate the remixers. Do us a favor, give us a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to Black Power Media if you have not already. We have missed y'all. We have been on hiatus for 2 weeks, but we are back. So be sure to tune in tomorrow and Thursday, 8 a.m. Eastern for the Remix Morning Show. Always support Black Media. Patreon.com/Black Power Media. Become a member of the channel. You can run the channel some bucks, please. We need our support because we think a lot of y'all think that we fell off or we left or we quit, but no, we back. We here. We here.
And I was trolling. Fuck all them white rappers. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Apologize to me, niggas.
Yeah, my bad. You got a story, Kim, or we got some other stuff that we want to spit on?
It's up to y'all. I have deposited something in the chat, something that came across my Twitter feed that I found interesting. And if we could get that pulled up,
let's go to the neighborhood producer.
Yes, this was posted by a sister named Tirsa McQueen, and it was a study. And again, I'm sorry I can't cite the study specifically, but Yale researchers. Her tweet reads: Yale researchers were asked teachers to look at a video of preschoolers and click when they saw misbehavior. There was no misbehavior. It was actually an eye tracking study to see who they watched the most. White and Black teachers spent significantly more time watching the Black boy. Let's watch the video.
Researchers at Yale showed teachers this video clip of 4 preschool students. Their instructions: look for misbehavior and click when you see it. The study was kind of deceptive. None of the kids in the video actually misbehaved. The researchers were using eye tracking software. What they actually wanted to study was who the teachers were watching. Both Black and white teachers spent significantly more time watching the Black boy in the video. This study showed that even preschool teachers can treat kids differently based on their race without even realizing it.
Oh, they realize it all right. They've been just in the sense of like they're trained to do it. Black or I mean, it's the societal norm.
It's genetical. I mean, it's genetic.
Genetical.
Yeah.
Ear doctor.
I did have an ear doctor moment. I said genetical. Anyway, it's definitely genetic. I said, thank you, ear doctor.
I'm not going to say it's genetic, but it's cultural. They've been trained, the societal, cultural, black, white, Latino, whatever. Everyone's been trained. Eyes on first, young black boy. It's just that's the training. That's the culture. That's the news shows. That's the TV shows. That's the thing that they tell everybody to be fear of. So it's going to be there, right? That's going to be there. I'm not shocked. I mean, I don't think anybody is shocked at all by the study.
I mean,
as long as you got America, that's what's going to be, because there's no training out of it, because America, the cliche is correct. It's built on white supremacy. There's no training people out of that. That's the way it is.
White supremacy is a disease that continues to fester and grow. So what do you think about reverse, playing crackers advocate? What do you think if it was a little white boy with the black teachers be paying attention to the little white boy?
That's what they was pointing out. They're pointing out that the black teachers too focused in on the young black boys, because again, we get the same media everybody else gets. When those news shows pop and they're showing you the crime, they're showing you black people getting arrested. When they're showing you prison or jails or whatever, they're showing you black people in and out of those. I don't care where it is, and that's the thing. It's like when you talk about even when we talk about things like abolishing the police, or when folks talk about replacing the police, folks in the community will not necessarily just jump up with you, particularly older folks, and be like, of course, they're more like they are have this fear or whatever. And I'm not even saying because of the conditions in the community, there are folks who are more likely or not to do things. And it ain't gonna be black girls who are doing it for the most part, right? It's gonna be some black boys. But the percentage of it is so low compared to what the general population of black boys or men or whatever are engaged in. So it's obviously just a targeting of a certain segment of society to say this is the danger, this is the enemy, and this ties in. We could talk a little bit more about this, but this whole idea, like in Atlanta, we just went through this thing of the city council and the mayor reopening basically, or expanding the Atlanta jail, because Fulton County Jail is saying that it's overcrowded. And so now the Atlanta, which has made promises, city officials which have made promises to close the jail over and over and over again, have now signed a lease with the Fulton County Sheriff's Department to keep it open and to have literally 700 beds. And why it ties into the previous story, the story that we're talking about now, is because 90% of the folks who are locked down in Fulton County Jail are black. Right. Black men in particular, right? So it's 90%?
90% come out?
90%.
I mean,
now, and you don't got murderers in there. It's not like you got rapists in there. You got homeless folks. You got low-level drug users. You probably have like a high percentage of either domestic or assaults amongst people who know each other. But you're not doing anything to rehabilitate, give people services, give people help, or whatever like that. It's a holding spot. And then you make money off of it. Because in Atlanta, they're going to get money for every bed that's filled from the sheriff's department. They're going to get money anytime there's a collect call from family members to talk to the people who are in jail, right? They're going to get money anytime somebody goes to the vending machine to get gets commissary. There's money to be made. So this is this ongoing thing of targeting black people in general, but specifically targeting from a young age of young black boys, is part of the historical precedent of what white supremacy is all about.
Yeah, and like you said, all the people that you named and more, because we're talking about everyone from the stenographer to the folks at the courthouse, the like you said, the sheriffs, the bonds,
the judges, the lawyers,
the phone company, Yeah, I mean the people who the food vendors, not just the vending machine, but the people who supply the food. So it's a serious money racket, and it feeds off of off of economic violence. It's like you've already been violated. You've already been you can't afford to live. You can't afford housing. You can't afford food, and you commit some type of quote unquote crime that these motherfuckers commit all the time. And next thing you know, you're on Rice Street and you're being held for an entire weekend for a fucking traffic ticket. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, you got folks like Andre Dickens, who ran for mayor and was successful, and all these folks was talking about how he was going to change things. He did. What they did, yeah, they said we're going to close the jail, but they didn't say how long. We're going to close it for the weekend, and then we're going to open it up, and we're going to rent this motherfucker out like an Airbnb for other jails. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the reality of things. But we really have to work harder at shutting this shit down, because they're not going to understand anything outside of direct confrontation. You know what I'm saying? It has to be direct confrontation, because as a whole, they're able to crush us. Few organizations, they don't care. They don't care nothing about that, because they're like, well, we opening this motherfucker anyway. Y'all can march. You can, and it's all over the place. Like you said, you have Cop City over here. You got the jail situation over here, and they'll have something else next. I want, if possible, during the break, if Air Doctor could pull up this situation about the sister here in Atlanta, the brother and the sister that was in the park that ended up getting arrested for being out in the park late, because the woman, the sister, didn't want to sign a ticket. So I want to go into that if we get the opportunity, because we need to talk about our quote unquote rights and our wrongs, because I think that we're under the assumption that we have some type of rights here, and these motherfuckers don't care nothing about us. We have to know how to deal with these people. If not, you will be one of those inmates that we're talking about.
Well, can we circle back real quick to the video? And I mean, I have questions for you guys as parents, you know what I mean? Because when your children are subjected to this sort of specific racial scrutiny about their behavior, about their conduct, when they are literally just being fucking children, the compounding effects that has on the mental health of Black children, especially Black boys, the ways in which that racist stress can affect the body, can affect, kids' health outcomes. I mean, we once were kids, without a doubt. We were subjected to this same sort of racist scrutiny and, division of sorts of how teachers dealt with us. As parents, like, how do y'all feel about this? How do you guys advocate for your children when your kids are being racially targeted for anything? And is there a way for Black parents to combat this? Do you step to your kids' preschool teacher? Like, I mean, what I'm saying? I'm being facetious, but I'm trying to ask a serious question at the same time to y'all as parents.
Yeah, you do. I'll start it. For one, and I have stepped to teachers, principals, so on and so forth. In fact, there was a situation where my son had has high functioning autism. Right, he's diagnosed with high functioning autism. So there was a situation where I got a phone call and they said that some kid knocked his glasses off and stepped on his glasses. Right, so I talked to this particular teacher. She was a new teacher. Before this situation, there was a couple other incidents that just with the class itself. I sit there and I witnessed, this class was a special needs class. I witnessed a child walk out of the class, down the hall. He saw me and he said, "Hi, Umar's dad." You know what I'm saying? He's all the way down the hall. I'm headed to the class. So I walk him back to class. The teacher didn't even know he was gone. You know what I mean? So I dealt with that situation. And like I said, the situation with the glasses, I go up to the school and, I head right to the class. I go to the class and I'm like, look, what's going on? So on and so forth. They called me into the office. I go to the office. Next day, I'm coming to pick my son up. And the school officer comes up to the car with my son and my daughter in the car, talking about, we may have to press charges on you because you went to the class without stopping by some bullshit. And then this motherfucker had the nerve to ask me to write up the information on the ticket.
What?
He wanted me to write.
Fill out your own information. Like,
that's what he wanted me to do. He said he wanted me to fill out my part of the story and so on and so forth. Shit, I put his motherfucking name on the ticket. But anyway,
exactly.
But the thing is, but the thing is, you know, you have to be honest with your children, and they have to be clear about what the fuck is going on. They have to be clear about the type of society we live in, the world we live in, and the fact that the police are not your friend. My children, they've been referring to the police as pigs from day one. They when they see white folks getting out of line, they're like, look at this Karen right here. That's 7-year-old in the airport, because they know they're clear about what's what. They're clear about what we're up against. Now, we're not teaching them to be racist. They have all different types of friends, quote unquote. They associate with different types of individuals. But the reality is, if we are not true to them, if we're not keeping it 100 with them and letting them know what's really going on, then they'll end up victims. We don't, whenever we told their school out the gate, look, anytime there's police coming to the class to speak to them, any type of military or any of that type stuff, please excuse my child. No, it's officer such and such. I don't give a fuck who it is. You know what I'm saying? It's not happening. And they would try to, you know, talk me into it. Yeah, well, I've been knowing this officer. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a space for my child, when these folks come in there with their propaganda, then call me and I'll come pick them up. You know what I'm saying? So we were known out the gate with the wild dreadlocks and everything. Like, these niggas, you know what I'm saying? They it's gonna be a problem, you know. And
I was going to say, you know, the similar things, like our kid don't, particularly our daughter, she don't stand for the national anthem. And they're constantly themselves having cool talks around getting Donald Trump. So that's not their only focus, but he's become this sort of symbolism of white nationalism for them. So I can't say what they've been saying, because I be telling them they can't be talking about getting Donald Trump. So it's like, yo, you're going too far here. Like, you can't be talking about. But they're constantly plotting as a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. So I'm just like, yo, chill with that. You didn't get that from me. Chill. Yes. But on a serious level, you know, I think it all just comes down to something Kalonji mentioned about how society functions. Like, I don't want to be too hard on teachers, because teachers are just told to do so much, to be child care providers, to be teachers, to be counselors, to be everything in a system that's not designed to do it. In a system in which teachers themselves, a lot of them, some maybe want to, but you have people who are in that profession for various different reasons. And they come in with the same racism that everybody else in society has. And that includes being scared of young black kids. That includes eyeing them, and again, things that white kids would do, that if a black kid does it, all of a sudden it's a problem, or it's not cute anymore, or whatever like that. So there's a lot of that's going on in the schools. And nowadays you got mass shootings, and people are scared, and people that have the nerve to ask teachers to carry guns and be like open arm carry. Imagine like preschool or kindergarten teachers with a gun on their hip, sort of giving you a hug as you come in, as your kid comes into the school. Like, that's the society that we live in. So, you know, so it's just a jacked up society. And then with jailers or cops, that's the problem. That's how they solve every problem. Every problem is to lock somebody up, right? So as long as the developers can develop, everybody else is expendable, right? And that's the kind of society we live in. So, you know, it's very similar. It's about letting these teachers know. It's about sending your kids in with certain information, letting the administration of the school know that we are not the ones to be messed with, right? That's not going to happen on our watch. That you better call us right away when something goes down. We're going to have some meetings about this. We're going to be up in there, right? So, you know, you only can be hyper vigilant. It may not be fair, you know, for parents to have to worry about that and do everything else that parents have to do, but you just have no choice, right? Until we start creating these other institutions. And there's some out there, right? There's some other institutions. They're relatively small. They can't take every black child in the country. But there's other institutions out there, and sometimes we got to do that too, so that when we think those things are giving our kids everything that they need in terms of the caring, the education, the other things that they need, the services around them, we got to support those institutions also, because those institutions, if they are able to grow, can do a lot of things that these public schools, these charter schools, and these private schools just don't know how to or can't because of the endemic racism that's a part of it.
Yeah, and like Kamal said, you have to let them know, especially the administration. It has to go on record. Look, no holidays, no this, no that. Oh, but I mean, they can do Christmas, right? No. Well, how about not even Thanksgiving? Hell no.
Hell
And
no.
when they have to do reports on Thanksgiving, oh hell, they hate to see them coming.
Genocide.
You know what I'm saying? And then when they know you, and I don't know if Kamal's ran into that, but just if you're doing like press and shit like that, and they catch you on the news, and all of a sudden like, oh, you could tell when they saw you, because when you walk in the building, everybody's quiet, motherfuckers looking like, and then someone would be like, yeah, the one white progressing like, we saw you on the news last night. We saw you. I'm like, fuck the police. So they're quite clear. Like, we're going to he can't go. That's right. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? So and that's just the deal, man. It's like no one has time for that. And I dig what you're saying about the children saying certain things you can't say right now. There was a point where my son, every time we said certain people were sick, is he dead? Is he gonna die? I'm like, God damn. Like, you worse than me. Is he gonna die?
I was gonna say, yeah, I mean, just to go back to that Trump, it wasn't even us. We went to the friend. Our daughter did the Friend School. The Quakers. And the Quakers are all the peace loving. So I think it was a mix of us. But when Trump won the presidency, those white people cried. They need the services, right? Those white liberals, they need it, and they're nice people. They do some nice, but they had a special auditorium thing. They put all the kids in. You would have thought that the country was literally on fire that day. The white people could not control their tears. And so I had to have a whole conversation with my daughter. But that's when the plotting started. I blame the Quakers.
You should. You should.
The Quakers who love nonviolence also love Black Panther Party members. So get with that. Just get with that.
Only in America. Anyway, moving right along, we got the ear doctor. I know some of y'all are like, what the hell are they talking about? It's okay. We got the ear doctor here to balance it out, and I'm sure the ear doctor going to let him have it.
Yeah, you know it. Hey, nah, but real quick, yeah, that's definitely a topic. I know my kids ain't never really seen too many white people at their school, but yeah, the whole I could agree, especially when it comes to that Thanksgiving. I'm saying like they gonna title it Thanks Taken and let y'all know all the things that really happened on that date. But I'm gonna do a real quick break, and I'm talking real quick because I'm doing a one-hit wonder. So you know how that is. Ain't too much information. So that's how we gonna do right here on the Remix Morning Show. All right, welcome back. Welcome back to the Remix Morning Show. At this time, we'd like to give a quick spotlight on somebody. Let me put a little music behind here. Just give you a little bit of that right there. If y'all don't know who that is, that right there is the man they call Carl Douglas. That's right. He is a Jamaican singer-songwriter, recording artist based in the UK who was best known for his 1974 disco single, Kung Fu Fighting. That's right, Kung Fu Fighting. Pretty much he was born in Kingston, Jamaica, but he relocated out to London as a teenager. He spent his time playing sports, and he developed a passion for soul music. So he was really into Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, and stuff like that. But he came out with this single back in, like I said, 74. It was on the Billboard Hot 100. And it was it's a single sold like 11 million copies worldwide. It's one of the best singles of all time. He tried to come back with another song called Dance the Kung Fu, but nah, they wasn't trying to hear that. But you can also hear his this song being sampled by no other than DJ Premier and their song Classic, which was redone with Kanye, Nas, and no other than Rakim. So that's what it is. Dude had 3 albums: Kung Fu Fighting, Love, Peace, and Happiness, and Keep Pleasing Me, which, like I said, we know no other songs than that one. But big up to that man, Carl Douglas. That's what it is right here on the Remix Morning Show. So, yeah. And we out. Let's get back to the Remix Morning Show host at this time. Come on. Yeah.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Yeah, that song might have been a one hit, but that motherfucker was definitely a hit. You talking about so many films and soundtracks. I don't think it's too many people in America, in the United States, that's never heard that song. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully he got some publishing off that shit.
Thank you. I was thinking the same thing.
You know, because if not, he need to be going out kung fu and fighting some motherfuckers now. But he definitely that joint, I don't know how he did it, but that was the that was it.
Ear Doctor, is Carl Douglas still with us?
Yes, he is.
He's still with us. I believe.
Yes,
wonderful.
He's 80 years old. He is still with us.
Yes.
I just saw something on him recently.
Come through, Elder. Thank you. Thank you, Carl Douglas.
It take me back to Saturday mornings watching the Shaw Brothers, watching Super Ninja, all those different dope kung fu flicks that made you go out Saturday mornings and go fight each other. It was a beautiful
3 p.m. in New York, 3 p.m. time. It was like the driving movie.
Channel 5.
Like thing. Yeah.
So with us, with us, we had like on Saturdays we'd have I think on Channel 5 we'd have something, 1 or 2 joints, and then on Sundays we'd go to this theater where it was $2 and you see 2 movies. Usually it's 1 kung fu movie and then 1 movie that probably we shouldn't have been watching, the shit like Penitentiary and shit like that with Leon Isaac Kennedy.
That was the joint. C. Jane, boy, I got you.
I saw that shit. I was like 12 or some shit, and I'm sitting there like. Shout out to the downtown theater in Bridgeport. They was wilding the fuck out. But yeah,
you know what the best move in the kung fu movies was when they did they poked your eye out. I always, people used to try to do that to see if that was a real move.
Yeah, shit.
It always
you remember that? Like there was always a move, or some of the movies they're like not. They were like they and then they did this, and then they come out with
try to take their eyes out.
Yeah. Don't know if they usually do that, but that was always that shit that was like, yo, that was a wild move.
I'm gonna come back tomorrow with my top 5 kung fu flicks. So that's what it is.
Can you say kung fu, right?
That nigga said kung
fu.
Kung fu.
No, he said kung pao.
Kung fu.
Cow flu.
I think you high right now.
Dear Doctor, can I make a request for at some point this week? Can we get a music spotlight on Lamont Dozier, who passed away, of the infamous Dozier Holland songwriting super group of Motown of it's yo, when you look anyway, write that down, baby, because once you get into his discography and all his songwriting credits, a madness. It is a madness.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, let's not forget today's the birthday of J.T. Taylor from Kool in the Gang. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
You know what I mean? It's cool. His birthday, and also one of my favorite actresses on the planet, the incomparable Angela Bassett. Shout out to them on their born date today.
What? I didn't know Angela Bassett was a Leo. Makes total sense. Makes perfect sense. Yeah.
I don't know about all that shit, but
Go ahead. It's Leo season. Rawr. We still rawring out here.
Oh, that's right. It is Leo season. That's right. Kim's birthday is still going on. I got you.
You already know this. Yes.
Both my brothers I got one of my brother's birthdays on the 19th and the other one's on the 20th. So
y'all used to fight a lot together. I'm sure y'all used to go whip wholesale ass in Bridgeport, because if your brothers are anything like you and you're a Sagittarius fire and your brothers are 2 Leos, y'all was out here fucking shit up. I'm pretty sure.
This couple people got ate up. We come from a family that it is if one of us fight, we all fight.
Oh, everybody fight.
Look, you're 5 years old, you fucking with my brother. I know I'm 13. You know not to fuck with us.
You still gonna catch it. You still gonna catch it.
Who's messing with my brother? Him? And my brother Jinx, Shout out to my brother Jinx. He's a ancestor now. He was
Oh,
under me. This one, he was a Scorpio, and he was short, mad short, and someone to say something to me, and I ain't really want to fight. You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, they say something like, he'd be like, "What you say?" And just haul. It'd be the biggest cat. He'd just reach up, sucker punch him. Now we got to fight. You know what I'm saying? So, and then when we breaking him up, he'd be like, "I'm Muhammad Ali." You know what I'm saying? So we had to come from one of those families, man. You mess with one, you gotta see everybody, man.
That's word. You got to see us. Big up to All Power to the People. Thank you for joining us for our celebrity worship segment.
No doubt.
Who were we worshiping? Who was the celebrity worship? Who was that? Carl
All
Dozier.
power to the people. Stop doing that. Don't be that way.
Celebrity worship.
Worshiping
want to talk Black Power the whole time.
Now you know it's crazy. You know it's crazy. It's like sometimes we'll be all super serious, then we lighten up a little bit. And cats be bugging out like they ain't home watching Chevy Chase or some white shit. Stop playing. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing.
Pharaoh ain't your favorite comedian. Anyway,
you know what I'm
man.
saying?
Let me get out of here. I'll catch y'all next time, man. Peace.
No doubt. Peace.
Listen,
Anyway.
Don't get mad, y'all, when we deviate and lighten it up some, y'all. We are living in very bad and difficult times. If we can't find the humor and laugh and find joy, what are we here for? I can't be all morose and serious and here's who got killed by the police today. You know what I'm saying? All the news is important, but fuck, can we laugh? Are we allowed to joke with each other? No? Yes?
The craziest thing about it, some of the most funniest folks I know are quote unquote known as serious revolutionaries.
Dick Gregory was like that. That's him, right?
I mean, shit, Dick Gregory, Aruba. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm not talking about folks that are comics. I'm talking about
I got you.
Folks that, I mean, pretty much most of the most hardcore revolutionaries I know in this particular country that I've had the opportunity to get to know. These are people that are funny as hell. And most people don't get to see that side because you're not in that particular arena. You know what I mean? Some of them got the quick, dry one-liners and shit and just throw you all the way off. And some will just, man, we just go there. And it's just like, that's a part of life. We can't just walk around stiff and mad all day with some goddamn red, black, and green drawers on and a staff and all this other bullshit. But you ain't fighting nothing. You ain't changing nothing. So if you're going to change some shit, then I respect it. But if you're just going to criticize what the fuck I'm doing, then, pull over to the left, homie. Anyway, shout out to all politics people. I want to talk to you.
I'm gonna get these jokes off, guys. Got to, have to. You know what I'm saying? I have to laugh. I have to smile, even at inappropriate times. Even I will laugh and joke during inappropriate shit sometimes. I think a trauma response. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to. I have to keep the energy moving because I will get depressed and sad and anxious about all of the conditions that we're facing, and the shit looks bad. And from the outside and the inside, it definitely looks bad. So please, be gentle with us if we have to have a moment of levity.
Yeah, and I don't know any celebrities. Particular people that I consider celebrities are freedom fighters. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people that I'm excited about. It's not too many other folks out there who I have met or haven't met that I would just say I'm like a huge fan of or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's folks who are like Stevie Wonder and, people who are talented geniuses and whatnot, and who contribute to our movement or into our culture in some kind of way, fashion, or form. But yeah, I don't think we have any celebrity worship over here. So
I don't even know what celebrity we were worshiping.
I don't even know
was it Mr. Kung Fu Fighting Man? Like, I mean
shit, dude's a one-hit wonder.
Let the chat be the chat. Let's get back.
No doubt.
Yeah, because I do want to. You brought up the story about the lady with the ticket, and I think that video was making rounds. So let's play that one.
Let's get it.
Yeah, Doc, you got that. Now, for folks who are not familiar, there was a situation here in Atlanta a few days ago where some folks were stepped to in the park. We're going to let you watch a few minutes of the video, and then we'll go to we'll talk about it. I think we got to unmute something, or I don't know if that's the particular video.
James Jimmy Calloway. He joined Marl's police force in 2006 and served as chief from 2016 to 2020. At the time of his death, he was the director of state investigations.
Yeah, we're not talking about him. That's something else.
Standards and training.
Although the title does say the body cam thing.
Yeah, they look kind of confused. Like, I don't know. that was a way to get their videos up. They're like, yeah, everybody's checking this out. Make sure they check out Jimmy, who kicked the bucket. Anyway, my bad. That was kind of clungy. But anyway, while we're waiting for the video, there is there's a situation here in Atlanta where a brother and sister, as we mentioned, were they were told that they couldn't be in the park after dark. They had out-of-state license plates. The cop came up to them, and got their identification, ran it, and decided that he would give both of them tickets for being in the park after dark. So the brother, he decides to sign a ticket. The sister, she wanted to see, wanted his badge, numbers, information, so on and so forth. She went to go get her phone to record this information as far as typing it in or whatever she was doing. And she asked him about his information a couple times. The cop told her that, that she would, she asked would she be arrested if she didn't sign a ticket. And he said yes. So she refused to sign the ticket at first, and then things escalated from there. So let's see if we got that video now. Here we go.
Tonight we have brand new body cam video showing the Atlanta police in an investigation that turns physical. It all started when police noticed a car in a park. They were there almost an hour after the park had closed and tried to issue.
An hour after the park had closed?
Woman inside, and video of this confrontation quickly went viral.
11 Alive's Don White is in the studio breaking down just what happened here, Don.
So let's stop it right
Ron
there.
And Jennifer, the man in the car
Can you
agreed
pause
to.
it for 1 second? So you don't go away from it, but just so that's as we evaluate the police behavior. Let's just look at the media's behavior and setting this up. Right. So they point out that folks are in the park, as folks are usually in the park, even because a lot of times the times are not posted, or even if it is posted, people are chilling. So, but they have to note to you that the police had some reason in their mind to go up and harass, bother, kick these people out, as if they were dangerous or doing something that was putting somebody in some dangerous situation. So just even the pretext of how the story is reported is always important to notice or point out.
Yes, any sort of non-compliance is used as justification for the media for any police violence or brutality that comes about. So yes,
no doubt. Kick it a little more, doctor.
Sign the ticket. Well, initially she did not. An hour-long police body camera video shows the interaction getting violent, with the officer and the woman winding up, rolling around on the ground, the woman refusing to put her hands behind her back, eventually saying she'd signed her tickets as well.
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to sign your hands behind your back.
This is video of a woman being arrested at Shady Valley Park Monday evening.
Sir, you do not have to hold her like that.
In this viral post, the woman's sister says she asked the officer for his badge number and name.
Sir.
The post then showing the officer pushing her to the ground. 11 Alive got this body camera video from the officer seen in the viral post.
I have to sign it? You cannot sign it and go to jail.
It shows the man who shot the viral video signing his citation for being in the park after hours.
And what's your badge number? 745.
The officer gives the woman his name and badge number multiple times.
And I don't have to sign this, right?
You do have to sign it.
No, I don't.
The video shows the woman eventually agreeing to sign the traffic citation.
I'm going to sign the ticket.
You don't have an option now.
I think that's where it should have ended and allowed her to sign the citation. There was no need to use the hands-on method there once she had agreed and once she really realized that she was potentially going to be arrested.
NAACP Georgia President Gerald Griggs says his opinion didn't change after watching the police body camera video.
We plan to meet with the chief of police. We plan to meet with a young lady and her attorney. We plan to get to the bottom of what actually happened.
Crime and safety expert Mark Bachman has 35 years experience in law enforcement and thinks the blame goes both ways.
It's always good to comply with the police. I'm pretty sure that she knew she wasn't going to go to jail.
But Bach.
Okay, now see, that's the bullshit right there. Two things, right? Number one, okay, they're in the park. When you see the whole video that they posted, I think 11 Alive posted one that was like 33 minutes, right? So on this, they're complying with the exception of her not wanting to sign the ticket, which I don't blame her for not wanting to sign the goddamn ticket for being in the park. You know, that's one thing. Secondly, I would advise folks, and I'm not a legal expert, but if it's some bullshit like signing a ticket for being in the park and you're in a dark space like these folks were, I say just sign the motherfucker, get off from out there and deal with the court. You know what I'm saying? Get you an attorney or whatever the case is and just get the fuck out of there so you can be safe, because these bastards don't care. And I tell you, right after this situation, there's like 6 other black cops, Negro cops out there. And they're on the side, they're laughing, they're talking, and it's a big deal. Dude's like, yeah, you know, I told her whatever. And she said, you know, she wasn't going to sign it. Then when I whipped the cuffs out, she was like, you know, okay, I'll sign it, but I don't play like that, whatever, so on and so forth. This is what this nigga was talking about. You understand what I'm saying? And you had a whole bunch of other grown niggas, slave catchers, who walk around Atlanta and think they're fucking cool. And people always talking about that's Officer so-and-so, he cool. You know what I'm saying? And all of this shit escalated because these 2 people, no crime committed. They show them rolling up. They're just standing there talking on the side of their car. And all of a sudden it's this. So that could have been either one of us on the screen or in the audience, you know, but it turned into this. And, you know, like I said, I just wanted to, you know, say, man, you know, we got to figure out which battles to choose and how to deal with these motherfuckers, because they're not friends of ours.
But it shows that the nature of the state, the nature of the police. They could have easily, if this is such a violation, if this is a violation, you could have just rolled up and said, hey, you guys, the park is closed. Can you wrap this up and take it over there? You know, we just really want to make sure the park is closed. That could have solved the situation right there. Instead of taking out the situation where it's like, oh, I got you. I'm going to basically do a violation, make you take days off of work to come to court, to have to defend this, to potentially pay a fine, because again, that's how law enforcement works. And you're right, like, you know, signing it is probably the safest thing to do, and just to be safe, it makes sense to sign it. But there's no reason why they should even require a signature on a ticket. No, there's no reason whatsoever. That's a barrier to issuing a ticket. They have your license plate number, they get your ID. There's no technical reason. There's no safety reason. There's no security reason. There is nothing about signing a ticket which does anything to prove anything for anyone. And they have body cam video right now. Right. So there's no reason to even require a signature and to threaten someone with arrest if they don't sign a ticket. It makes no sense whatsoever, but it's all about putting people in jail, getting charges on people, fulfilling quotas, making people paying fines, going back to the earlier discussion. It keeps the whole prison system, the whole jail system, the whole court system rolling. They need cannon fodder. They need grist to keep the machine going. And that's how we serve. So you see people in a park not doing nothing but talking to each other, and you decide this is a moment for you to fulfill your quota. This is you have to work. People, this is your job. Your job.
But the pig pointed out when he rolled up, he said, okay, I see you have out-of-state plates. You might not know that you know, you can't be in the park after dark, whatever, so on and so forth. He's like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, basically they're ready to leave. Do you have identification? All right, cool. He runs their ID. You couldn't find shit. So your miserable black ass, the pig you are, now you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna write you a ticket. You're gonna write some. I mean, that shit is so fucking insane. I mean, what were they doing? Killing ants? I mean, you're standing next to the damn car. No one's clothes was off. There was no, you know what I'm saying? There was nothing that you could say. There's no smell of weed. There's no alcohol, nothing. No violation except for them being in the park. And like you said, there are some places where signs are listed, and there's some that are not listed. I mean, you have the opportunity to just go feel the breeze at the park at night. You're with someone, you know, whoever you're with, whatever the case was, and it turns into this. I mean, it's bullshit. But at the same time, again, and I'm by no means, because, you know, I talk to different folks and they're like, well, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm tired of bowing down to the police, so on and so forth. Okay, I mean, shit, we all are. But the reality is we're at war. So you have to make a decision here. You have to say, look, do I live and fight another day and deal with these motherfuckers on another on another terrain, or do I risk it all right now? You understand what I'm saying? And I don't know what happened with folks like Sandra Bland. You know what I mean? But I know that it was because of some bullshit traffic ticket. You know what I mean? And we have to be able to, we really have to think about when we're dealing with the police that we should be in their presence for as little time as possible. If I'm pulled over, if I'm talking to these motherfuckers, or I mean, if I had to deal with them, then please, I ain't ask you too many questions because I don't give a fuck because I already know you my enemy. You know what I'm saying? You can't convince a rabid dog to behave. You understand what I'm saying? You see the dog foaming from their mouths. You see this motherfucker sick. And you sitting there like, oh, good doggy. It's okay. You don't have to bite people. Shit don't work like that. You know what I mean? And I'm not, by no means am I blaming the sister, nor am I blaming the brother, because I saw some people talking about he just stood there.
What was he supposed to do?
The pig told him on multiple occasions, step back. He would have been shot.
That's right.
And they would have placed some shit on him, or they would have said that,
he interfered with an arrest. He attacked an officer. That's what they would have done. Yeah,
absolutely.
When I used to do know your rights workshops on a regular basis, that same analogy you just used. I always would tell folks, like, look, you got to think of the police as wild animals. They are wild animals. What do you do if you see a wild animal? You are cautious. You watch your every movement, right? You try to get away from there as fast as possible, right? You don't try to, you can't offer snacks to the wild animal, right? That's not going to get them off your ass, right? So you got to be protective of yourself at all times. So that I completely agree. It's like these situations are not obviously in the midst of them happening. They're not easy things to deal with emotionally, or how you're reacting to it, or people feeling violated. But they know that too, because they're trained for that. And part of their training is they're going to take control of a situation, even when there's no need to. And then they call it for backup. And so by the time it all ends, I'm sure, like you said, the video continues on. There's like 6, 7, 8, 9 squad cars pulling up for what? Because people was in the park. Because I was in the park.
Like it's a real threat, and that shit is crazy. I mean, the only threat is they're black and they live and they exist on this planet during this time period. So the thing is, again, and trust me, I think that most of us on this screen, I don't know about you, Ken, we've had encounters with these motherfuckers on numerous occasions in numerous states. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, it's that feeling, that adrenaline rush. Yeah, sometimes you look at this motherfucker like you want to choke his goddamn life out. You know what I'm saying? Or like you want to poke his fucking eyeballs out, like Ear Doctor was talking about with that. But the thing is, you have to know that if you're not willing to go all the way, then shut the fuck up and chill, man. Just go ahead and take that little lightweight session right there, that disrespect, and think about how to deal with that situation beyond there. Because fortunately, and I don't know if it's good or bad, that it wasn't all white cops. Because
I don't know if that's good or bad or not, because we know how some of these black cops love to show off, right?
Well, what I meant is, white cops in certain counties, because of the fact that there are certain counties, had that happen, you want to definitely try to get away. Matter of fact, you don't even want to be out there like that.
So let me say, like, as a woman who has had their hands, has had police put hands on me and detain me and handcuff me, is a very scary situation to be in, because this person, usually the cop, in my situation, it was a man handcuffing me, easily could overpower me, gun notwithstanding. And I understand where the sister was coming from. And I agree with you both, with Kalonji and Kamal. Like, you do have to pick your battles. You do have to know, I guess, when to let certain things go, or just kind of take the L in the moment. But sometimes that's not an option. Like, you either have to advocate for yourself, or the situation could possibly get worse. I don't know if that was the case here. The time that the TSA took me off an airplane in handcuffs, if I hadn't advocated for myself, I don't know what the fuck would have happened to me. If I didn't tell that cop, the TSA, he wasn't an agent, he was a full-on cop, got in my face, was trying to accuse me of disrupting a flight, which carries federal penalties, by the way. And if I hadn't told his ass in front of another cop, I said, you need to go back on that airplane and do an investigation. You need to speak to the witnesses, to the other people who were sitting around me before you just take this flight. attendant's word as gospel. And if I hadn't done that, I really think that I would have been in some way more serious shit. Fortunately, they did not press any charges against me and I was free to go. But this was after being detained in handcuffs at the airport for 2 hours. And it's frightening. It is frightening as a woman. I know there's been lots of brothers who have experienced police brutality, and tragically many who have died at the hands of police, sisters also, and children also. But as a woman, again, it's so scary. I felt my heart and my adrenaline, like you said, Kalanji, that feeling that you have in your body, that physical response that your Black body gives when you are encountering police and you are in a situation where your freedom is at risk. I know exactly the feeling that you're talking about. And when that man put his hands on her and the brother was like, you don't have to touch her like that. Like my heart just started palpitating. Like I know that feeling, and I was scared for her. I was, even knowing that she came out alive and, physically unharmed, probably mentally traumatized, but physically unharmed, I still was scared for her just watching that video. So
and he pulled a taser. So and the thing is, when I'm talking about what the words we're speaking of, I mean, where you were, that's a different circumstance. You're on a plane, there's other people, so on and so forth. Yes, advocate. You have witnesses, so on and so forth. But when you're in a dark ass park and it's just you and your man and this pig right here, you're up against a fucking wild coyote right now.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? You're up against a pack of hyenas against your Black ass. So you have to make decisions that are going to, you have to move intelligently. You can't just say,
right,
whatever. But at the same time, we have to keep in mind that particular piece right there was not only a physical torture, it was psychological as well, because this motherfucker wanted this Black man to act a fool, like most Black men would do. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of men that you're not going to put your hand on my fucking woman. We're going to die here today, or whatever the case is. But at the same time, we have to have some type of contingency plan. We have to understand, look, if we're pulled over, shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Don't say shit. Because if you ain't willing and ready to go all the way the fuck out, then keep your mouth shut. Let's just get away with what it is. That's not me trying to exert my masculinity or being patriarchal. I'm saying, look, you want to live, or do you want to live and be on the run? Because of the fact that we're not about to die dealing with this motherfucker right here because you trying to prove that we right or wrong. That's for men and women. I've been in the car with all types of folks, and for some reason, especially brothers, they want to try to impress me because I'm Mr. Fuck the Police. I'm on the passenger side. They talking shit, and I gotta tell them, yo, shut the fuck up, man. Like, yo, let's go. I don't, nigga. He letting us go. Shut the fuck up.
FTP movement. FTP movement.
Hey, you got a pound of herb in your pocket, and you
you over here talking shit right dirty. Cut it out.
Nigga, you just blew my high. I'm mad as hell. You sit here arguing with him. We know we innocent. Yo, I just want that motherfucker know I know my rights. So what?
Well, I'll jump in on that because I think I think she did some really important things in the video, right? So one, she did check asking or getting the badge number and the name of the cop.
Right.
Again, you do that, asking cops if you have a right to leave or a right to go, to understand what your rights are. You should do that. You should always make sure that you ask that question so you can know where you're at. And again, a lot of these things are not because, as Kalanji is stating, that you're going to physically overpower the cops or convince them to do otherwise, but you want to make sure that you are clearly understanding the scenario and seeing that you're in, particularly if they try to arrest you or give you a citation, because on the back end, on these occasions, right? Again, if this is not some organized response to something, it's on the back end that you as an individual person will seek to get out of this situation, seek some justice, seek some relief. It's not usually on the front end where it's going to come out. It's different if you're doing a cop watch, or you would like 30 people, or even in a situation where it's public, there's a lot of people around you. We have a better opportunity to argue or fight back for your rights on that moment. But you got to understand the situation, the scenario, where the power lies, and again, as Kalanji has stated, how we live another day to continue that fight.
No doubt. Hey, we appreciate you all checking us out this morning. We had a great time with you all here on the Remix Morning Show.
It's
man,
10 o'clock, Kim.
We be moving like that. Make sure you check the Remix Morning Show out tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern to 10 a.m. Eastern. And on Thursday, same thing. And I want to point out on Thursday, I will have some guests from the Congo and Rwanda, talking about a new book they have out, some survivors of the genocide out there. We had one of them on before. We have some folks that will be coming on from Australia and a couple other countries on Thursday. So make sure you tune in and check us out on that. We have a whole lot of great content coming through Black Power Media. So make sure you continue to support our efforts. We appreciate you. We love you. And have a great day. Be safe out there and watch out for crazy ass white folks and police.
Don't forget to tune in tonight to Burn It Down with Kim Brown, 7 p.m. on the channel. Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Please go over there and subscribe. Tonight, I'm going to be giving a update about some workers' actions happening out in California. Amazon workers at one of the biggest air fulfillment centers in the country walked off the job yesterday. Also, 2,000 Kaiser Permanente mental health therapists are also on strike, protesting the fact that mental health is not treated and adequately serviced well in California, specifically by Kaiser Permanente. So I'm going to be talking about that. Also, an update on the ongoing trial or soon-to-be trial of Keith Davis Jr. Spoiler alert, outgoing state's attorney Marilyn Mosby was found in contempt of court. And I've got that story tonight at 7 p.m. on Burn It Down with Kim Brown. So please tune in tonight and watch. Thank you.
Yeah. We out.
We back.